guess they aren't letting us resume live streams anymore. I'll give you guys a minute to get up in here. No shave food. All right. What's good, everybody? Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, freedom fighters, and the place to be. It's your boy, Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, aka Snap Turtle, aka that motherfucker. You know what I mean? It is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. And yeah, I'm on my way to Georgia. South Carolina, back to the house. Excuse me. Tried to start a live stream earlier, but I did start a live stream earlier, and my wife called me, so I had to get on the phone with her. But then it wouldn't let me resume the last live stream, so I had to start a whole new one, and I didn't have time to, put in titles and all this other shit and descriptions. So I just let it rock the way it is. Yeah, that's what's up with my stream. It wouldn't let me resume it. So had to start a whole new fresh one with no particular title. And so there we have it. Today, I've been wanting to talk about Hunter Biden and how he's going to plead guilty to tax evasion and gun charges and all this other shit. And I wanted to talk about the gun charge in particular. And I'm going to tell you why this helps Joe Biden and could possibly, it could possibly help Joe Biden, could possibly hurt the Second Amendment advocates, right? And I say Second Amendment advocates, it's not going to hurt people like me, right? I'm not a Second Amendment advocate. I am a human rights advocate. I am a right to keep and bear arms advocate, but not necessarily 2A, because I don't believe the Second Amendment is a shield that we could use. It's not an effective shield, right? Because the Second Amendment was created by men, all right? And even though it has perfect language, right, written in the Constitution, I don't think it could get any more perfect, except for how they said a well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. That's where the problem lies. The problem lies with that, because this is what these gun controllers use. It's well regulated and it's supposed to be for the state and all this other shit. They don't understand, or they pretend like they understand, or they act like what was really meant by those words, right? A well-regulated militia meaning well-equipped, well-manned, well-armed, well-trained, well-disciplined, not well-controlled, okay? Not well-controlled by the government, because if that were the case, it would not be, the Second Amendment would not be in the Bill of Rights. It would be in, like, what article is that? Where it talks about Congress or whatever. It would, or Congress or some other, it would be in that section. It would not be in the amendments in the Bill of Rights. So, no, it meant that, a well-regulated militia is necessary for the security of the free state. And in order for that to be the case, we need the right of the people to keep and bear arms to not be infringed. That's what that meant. Okay, so out of hand completely destroys that whole argument. But because the Second Amendment states that, and because it's in the Constitution, which is a man-made document, and all these other things, even though it's the longest lasting constitution in the world, you cannot rest on your laurels with the Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying? You need to have an understanding that, hey, if the Second Amendment were to go away, I would still have the right to keep and bear arms, period, right? So this would hurt people that use the Second Amendment to basically push their arguments. They're so focused and caught up on the Second Amendment that they sometimes forget that you don't need the Second Amendment to understand and to know that you have the right to keep and bear arms. The Second Amendment does not grant you rights, right, to keep and bear arms. And neither does the First Amendment grant you the right to say whatever the fuck you want. No, the Second Amendment was put in place to help the government understand what they can't do, not what you can do, not what you have the right to, but what they don't have the right to infringe upon, right? That's what these amendments are for. That's what the Bill of Rights are for, to let the government know, look, you ain't about to do this to the people. The people, the people that give you the consent, the consent of the governed. No, and if you violate any of these amendments, we the people are supposed to rise up and replace these clowns with people that will uphold our rights, right? But because they have so gradually and slowly infringed upon these rights one bit at a time, well, now it's like, okay, well, we don't understand it. Like, we as regular individuals, we don't understand that the government is at the behest of us. We are supposed to be in control of the government. We just put the government in place. We put the government in place to have a more cohesive, protective, situation going on, right? Where people can live cohesively, and the government was supposed to be like, okay, well, we're going to help make sure that people don't violate each other, do this, they do that. But of course it wouldn't be government, because government is about control. It would be a whole different thing. If government did what it's supposed to do, if the government did what it was supposed to do, which is protect our rights, not protect our lives, not keep us safe, not none of that shit. Ensure that our rights are intact. That's really what they should be doing. If they were doing that, it would not be government. It would be something different that we would have to name. Like we don't have a word for that, for such a thing, where we appoint certain people, elect certain people to put themselves in place to be like, okay, we're going to make sure that the people, we're going to make sure that their rights are upheld. Anybody that would go against that would have to be eradicated, or something would have to happen to them. Like this so-called government is supposed to ensure that, hey, you can't do this. You can't do that when it comes to how you deal with individuals. Individuals need to maintain their autonomy, their freedom, their rights, all that shit. That is first and foremost. That is first and foremost before safety, before public health, before your little sensibilities. This is what it is. Our rights and our freedoms go before everything else. Because without that, we can't ensure that everything else is good to go, like our children. As soon as we allow government to have as much control as they have, our children became more vulnerable, right? Why is that? Well, because now the government can tell you what you can and can't do with your children, which they should not be doing outside of you physically abusing your children or you sexually abusing your children. Anything outside of that, or killing your children, beating your children, assaulting your children. If you're not doing any of that, if you want to raise your child in any way you want, it's not the government. If you want to take them out in your backyard and show them how to shoot, show them how to fight, all these other things, you know, it's none of the government's business what you do, how you raise your children. And if anybody was to have any nose in your business about what you're doing with your children, it will be the community. And only when there are signs of abuse, there's evidence of abuse towards your children. Other than that, if I don't want to send my kid to school, I don't have to. And if I don't send my kid to school and I choose to homeschool my children, I ain't got to do shit to prove anything to you. I don't have to prove anything to you about how my children are being educated. I don't have to do any of that. Government has gone too far. Way further than the founding fathers meant for them to go. But hey, this is where we're at. And so now, all the gun controllers out there, well, you got Joey B's son, Hunter Biden. And of course, we know that he violated. Let me tell y'all something. Everything that they're trying to hit Hunter Biden with, all these little laws, so-called broken laws, right? I don't see anything wrong with anything he did. Maybe the corruption with the Burisma Holdings and all that other shit. Maybe a little corruption. Maybe selling the people out to China and whatever he did, right? All that. But see, that wouldn't even be possible if government wasn't so exalted as it is. If the government wasn't given so much control over people and people's lives to the point where now they're trying to control and police the entire world, there would be no Hunter Biden trying to use his father's position as a vice president to get money and all that type of shit. There would be no Biden crime family if not for government. If there was no government, if we had entities that did what they were supposed to do, ensure that our rights are protected, and that's it. Mind your own fucking business. And when motherfuckers get to violating people's rights, shut their ass down. That's what you should have been doing. We wouldn't have any Hunter Biden dealing with China, dealing with Ukraine, all these other things that. So let's put that aside. Government created the atmosphere for a Joey B to have basically a RICO going. You know what I'm saying? An organized crime thing, a whole organized crime situation, a crime family. Like they would not be, because Joe Biden used his position as a president of the United States, which is part of fucking government, to push his weight around in other countries to get money. You know what I'm saying? Threatened to withhold loans to get what he want done, like firing a prosecutor, getting a prosecutor fired. Like, these things would not even be possible if not for the government. So, putting that aside, nothing that Hunter Biden did, nothing wrong with it. He didn't commit any crime, in my mind, with anything that he was charged with, including the tax evasion. Fuck that. Fuck that. Good pay taxes for what? The gun thing? Okay, he had a gun. That's his right. It's Hunter Biden's right to own a gun. It's Hunter Biden's right. Right? It's Hunter Biden's right to lie on a form to get a gun. Who the fuck is this government to think oh, we got to fill out these forms. We got to tell you if we did drugs or not. Fuck out of here. It's none of your fucking business. The fact that we have to fill out a form in the first place is the problem. A 4473, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The fact that that exists, that we have to go to a gun store and we can't just go buy a gun, we got to fill out a form now. And we got to wait for a fucking background check. The fact that we have to do that is the problem. Hunter Biden lying on a goddamn stupid ass form to get a gun is not a problem. Him doing drugs, smoking crack, sniffing lines off a girl's booty, having butt naked sex with women and filming it. No one would have ever known about it if they didn't fucking go nose around in his fucking computer. Right? Did he commit a crime? Did any of these women come out and say, Hunter Biden R-worded me? He raped me? No, I don't think there's anything that came out about that. He did drugs. He smoked some crack. He sniffed some coke. He has that right as a regular human being. He has a right to smoke a crack, to sniff a coke, to have a gun. Did he shoot anybody with that gun? Did he assault anybody with that gun, as we know? I don't think so. I didn't. Again, did he rape any of those women? No, he did not. No, he did not. You know, these people, I'm not going to say no names, but y'all know these two-way advocates that have these channels that are covering Hunter Biden. The fact is that these people think that he should receive some type of harsh punishment is the problem. No, Hunter Biden should not. Hunter Biden should be a free man in regards to the shit that he was charged for. He wasn't even charged for the whole shit with the Burisma Holdings. He wasn't charged with what they call that thing when you pay somebody that's a government official. You ain't supposed to pay him. Blackmail, not blackmail. The other word. What is that word when you, like, let's say you pay a cop to, what's that word, y'all? Help me out here. I can take a quick glance at the chat. What is that word when you pay somebody to leave you the fuck alone? Like a cop. Let's say a cop pulled you over, you got some shit in your car, and you say, hey man, a bribe. They didn't charge him with that. So let's talk about shit he was charged for. Nothing wrong. Again, it's his right to sniff a crack, sniff coke, smoke crack. He has every right to do that. As a grown ass man, the dude is in his 50s or something, right? He's a grown ass man. He ain't got to answer nobody. Listen, no one would have ever known if they didn't go nose around in his motherfucking computer, which they should not have done. You know what I'm saying? No one would have known. And if you feel like Hunter Biden should get a whole lot of jail time, I think they said it could be 10 years or something like that, 12 to 12 years, then you are the problem. No, you should be doing the opposite. Flip it on their ass. Do the unexpected. Say, no, Hunter Biden should not be suffering for any, because I'm not going to be the type of person to say, well, if he was not Hunter Biden, if he didn't have a vice president for a father, then he would be receiving harsh punishment. I'm not going to be that type of person to say that. What I'm going to say is, well, let's set the precedent. Let's make sure that Hunter Biden gets off, and then everyone else, every other human being in the world, we get that same energy if something like that happens to us. You know what I'm saying? If we get a gun charge and wasn't no crime committed, there was no victim, I didn't kill anybody, I didn't shoot anybody, I didn't do anything, I didn't cause any harm to anybody with my firearm, but they somehow want to give me a gun charge. Well, I should not I should get off. I should not serve any jail time. I shouldn't even have charges pressed against me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we looking at it the wrong way. We need to want Hunter Biden to get off. That's what we wanted to do. So that we could say, look, so that we could point to the hypocrisy and say, look what happened to Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden didn't get no kind of jail time. He didn't get charged, none of that. And we need to use that to ensure that our rights are protected. But no, we want Hunter Biden to go under the jail. No. We want him to go under the jail for the shit that he was charged for, right? Who knows what else that family has done to get what they have gotten. Lord knows that Joe Biden is party to a lot of atrocities committed by this government within this country and outside of this country. That's what we need to be focusing on charging him with. Obama, that motherfucker need to go under the jail for all the lives that he took. By all the predator drone bombing and all that type of shit. Killing children. You know what I'm saying? And there was a Secretary of State, what's her name? Madam Albright. She talked about how she did I think she's Madam Albright. Well, I forgot her name. How she was on 60 Minutes and she talked about all the children that she essentially was responsible, or her administration or whatever was responsible for killing, and no qualms, nothing, no remorse, just, hey, we did what we did. That's the type of shit these motherfuckers need to be getting locked up for. Not for smoking crack, not for sniffing coke, not for none of that, not for having sex with women like a grown-ass man, consenting adult women and a consenting adult man having sex, doing drugs together, minding their own fucking business. No. That's not the focal point that we should be having. I wish that would have been great if Hunter Biden had gotten off. If Hunter Biden had gotten off, that would have been great for people who enjoy their rights. I'm not going to say for the Second Amendment. No. For people who enjoy their rights and want their rights intact. That would have been a perfect outcome that we could have used. No. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I think that, now we all know the left-right paradigm lie is bullshit. So all this shit is, to me, in my mind, I think all this shit is not necessarily scripted, but set up in a certain way for certain things to happen. But I think that Joey B and his handlers, they made the decision to throw Hunter Biden under the bus. They said, you know what? We're pro gun control. We are pro tax a motherfucker. Oh, you gonna pay your taxes. Oh, you not gonna have no gun. So yeah, let's scapegoat this motherfucker, man. Right? That's what I think happened. They said, look, if we make Hunter Biden plead guilty, he won't have to serve no time. He can get a good little plea deal, and he can have his record expunged or whatever. If we show, look, this is what we're doing, even Hunter Biden can get hit with a gun charge. And now they're not hypocrites. They're not hypocrites now, right? This plea deal, it happens to people. It ain't just happening to Hunter Biden. It ain't happening just to, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are acting like Hunter Biden's the only person to not have to go to jail for a gun charge and tax evasion, even if it was $1.5 million. No, he ain't the first motherfucker. They said he paid the taxes back. You know what I'm saying? And he took a plea deal. I mean, it is what it is. people do get off, not get off, but they serve a reduced or suspended sentence or time served or whatever, and they end up getting out, especially if there's their first offense. This would have been Hunter Biden's first offense. So it happens. Motherfucking goddamn, what do y'all want? People get off on this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I know motherfuckers, let me tell you something. I know motherfuckers in Cali. I know gangsters that have gotten caught 8, 9, 10, 12, 11 times with a firearm when they were not supposed to have one. I'm talking about serial numbers filed off, illegal firearms, multiple time offenders, right? Convicted felons. You ain't supposed to have a gun. It's not legal for you to have one. And in Cali, you're not even supposed to carry it outside the house without a permit. So these motherfuckers are carrying a gun. They're carrying a gun. They're not supposed to have one. And they be having choppers. I'm talking about fully automatic, whatever. They get caught 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times and have the charges dropped. Police just take the gun from them. Say, man, they take the shit. Boom. That motherfucker will get let go. So what happened with Hunter Biden? And the people complaining about him getting off, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Come on. There are people that get off on gun charges all the time. No, they want the people that are legally supposed to have a gun, the law abiders, okay? The so-called law abiders, the non-criminals, the motherfucking, those type of people. Those are the ones they don't want to have the guns. They don't want people like that to have the guns. But it just so happened, hey, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Hunter Biden's one of them gangsters. Drug dealer, drug abuser, I don't know if he's drug dealer, drug abuser. You know what I'm saying? He ain't necessarily a square. And he's the president's son. What did y'all think was gonna happen? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all know it's rules for thee and not for me. That's how it works. My question is, when are we gonna wake up and realize that when we're gonna take our freedoms back? That's what I want to know. When are we gonna take our freedoms back and put something in place that is actually gonna protect our rights? And at the first sign of any type of hubris or any type of power-hungry bullshit, motherfucker gotta go. Motherfucker gotta go. You gotta go bye-bye. Not necessarily saying get deleted. I'm just saying in some form or fashion, he gets removed from an entity or removed from this entity. I don't want to call it a government. I want to call it something else. But you know what I'm saying. Any sign that motherfucker gonna want to try to overstep his authority, gotta go. Gotta go. That's not what you're here for. You're not here to become the ruler of the land. No. You're not here for that. You're here to be a leader. You're here as a representative of your constituents. You are a representative of your people that live within the realm that you stay in. And that is only for the people that want you to represent them. So anybody that doesn't want this entity to represent them in any form or fashion, they don't fall under the purview of that entity. As long as those individuals that opt out don't come fucking with the people that opted in, then you got a problem. Don't violate. As long as you don't violate, you can do what you do. You can come through, you can trade, you can interact with, communicate. It's all love, right? That's how it should be. Yes, I believe that there may need to be some level of security, a security force that sole purpose is to protect the rights of an individual. Not necessarily the safety, but the rights. Because you have the right for harm not to come to your person by another person. Okay, so essentially what that entity is going to do is ensure, oh, that motherfucker is fucking with you, he's violating your rights, we're going to deal with that motherfucker. Or you can deal with them and we won't fuck with you. Okay, this guy tried to attack you, tried to kill you, you ended up killing him. What do we need to go to court for? I mean, well, you might have to prove it somehow, right? That's when you get into the weeds. Okay, you can have all that. You can have that system. You can have a system. Okay, how do we prove that this person tried to kill me? But if let's say it's clear cut, and I know this does happen sometimes in some states. If it's clear cut that, hey, you killed that person in self-defense, no charges are brought upon you. That's how it should be. Now, this entity, you have to create a framework for it. You have to, come up with a system, right? And then you go with that system and you stick to that system. And the ultimate point to the system, right, is to protect human rights. That's it. That's it. Not to throw a weight around, not to have authority over somebody, not to, you were doing a 30 and you were doing a 50 and a. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing any of that. Okay. No, we're not doing that. All right. We the speed limits that are posted on the signs, those are suggestions, because if you go too much faster than that, you might lose control of your car. You might, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. So this is what we suggest. Boom. Okay. Let's say you say, fuck it, I'm gonna go violate it. If you don't hit anybody, if you don't crash, if you do it safely, I mean, if no harm comes to you or anybody else while you're speeding down this highway, you're going faster than the speed limit. Hey, what am I gonna pull you over for? You didn't do anything but drive faster than the sign said. How is that a crime? It's not. But if you hit somebody, you crash a car, you cause a crash, now we're talking about something a little different here. Again, there has to be a framework, there has to be a system. It has to be strictly about, and look, I know you think everybody thinks it's going to be, that's going to be dangerous. People are just going to be speeding all over the place. People already speed, man. The posted speed limit for this highway that I'm on right now, 70 miles per hour. When there's no traffic, motherfuckers be doing 80, 90, everybody. Going with the flow of traffic. I'm talking about the people in like the left lane in the middle lane, fast lane in the medium speed lane. These motherfuckers going 70, 80, sometimes 90. And that's with them knowing that the speed limit says 70 and that you can get pulled over for going over that. They do it whether they, you know what I'm saying? We're not talking about criminal-minded people. We're talking about regular-ass motherfuckers. We're talking about not truck drivers, because truck drivers are on the left lane. Sometimes they get their ass in the fast lane and piss me the fuck off. But we're talking about regular motherfuckers. We're talking about people just wanting to get to their destination. Why, you know what I mean? So they're not doing anything wrong. They're just going faster than the goddamn speed limit. Motherfuckers that go too slow can cause an accident. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just about the reason they do it is money. It's another form of tax. It's another form of tax. Yo, you want to speed on this road, you might get taxed, buddy. You want to go faster than the posted speed limit on this road, you might get taxed. You might get taxed. Whether you hit somebody or not, hey, that's not even relevant. We don't give a hot fuck about none of that. All we care about is, can you pay us for it? We pull your ass over because you went too fast. Hey, now you got to pay up, buddy. You got to pay up. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because if you crash, they're not going to give you a fucking ticket. Right? Now, the insurance company might find you at fault if they discover that. But they're not, you know what I'm saying? I don't think, I've been in a few car accidents. None of them were my fault, right? We got rear-ended one time. Got rear-ended. The lady said that she was texting this shit on her phone. Told us that. Now, we didn't call the police and say, oh, this lady was texting on her phone and she rear-ended us. But I think the cops did show up. I think. I don't remember. But she didn't get a ticket for rear-ending us. She didn't get a ticket for texting and driving, not being hands-free. No. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. Hunter Biden did nothing wrong. Hunter Biden had every right to go ahead and get it, get his rocks off. That motherfucker want to shoot up some coke. That motherfucker want to sniff some goddamn crack, or however the fuck you do it. The motherfucker got every right. He got every right to sniff a crack, every right. And the government does not have a right to go inside his personal computer, start sniffing through shit, find pictures and start posting them all over the place. They don't have a right to do that. They don't have a right to kidnap him, which they didn't do. They don't have a right to kidnap him. They don't have a right to force him to go to court. They don't have a right to bring him before a judge and tell him, you got to choose guilty or not guilty. They don't have that fucking right. None of their fucking business. The guy did some drugs and he bought a gun. Now that other shit, that other shit with the, who knows what he did with the Biden crime family. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the shit he got charged for. They're going to use that. Trust me. They're going to use that during Joe Biden's campaign trail. They're going to use, Trump is going to use it. Joe Biden's going to use it. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that Joe Biden personally advised his son to go ahead and take that plea deal. Because, son, what you did was wrong, and you shouldn't have lied on that 4473, and you shouldn't have been sniffing a coke, and you shouldn't have been smoking a crack, and you shouldn't have been sniffing it off the ass of a chick. Like, he is going to do it. He's going to do it. They're going to use that. That was a strategic move. And now, people like Trump and all these other people, they're going to use it too. They're going to say, oh, well, they went easy on him. They went, you know what I mean? And what is that going to bring in mind to you? It's really going to go against the message of what they say about the Second Amendment, right? You know, oh, he went soft on his son, you know, this, that, and the third. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He violated gun laws, and he, you know, sniffed, and, you know, they're going to use that to paint the law and order picture, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about law and order. Joe Biden's going to say, look, we had our son prosecuted. I mean, he didn't get no special treatment. He did a bad thing. He owned a gun when he shouldn't have. He lied on a government form to get a gun. He shouldn't have done that. And what did he lie about? He lied about doing drugs. He did drugs. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have evaded his taxes. Shouldn't have done that. And then you got the right that's going to say, oh, you didn't punish him enough. He didn't get enough punishment. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see what's going on here? I don't want Hunter Biden to go to jail. I don't want Hunter Biden to do any fucking time. I don't want him to take a plea deal. I don't want him to get off scot fucking free. But we fell for the okie doke, didn't we? All the right-wing pundits and all these people, these so-called Pro-2A people, these law and order people, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, they love, oh yeah, they eating this up. They eating it up. And they fucking falling for it. They're going hook, line, and sinker. They're doing exactly what they want them to do. Exactly what these controllers want them to do. They are pushing for Hunter Biden to get harsh punishment for shit that they should not be pushing. They should not be doing that. They should be saying Joe Biden had every right to have that gun. Joe Biden had every right to smoke some crack. Joe Biden had every right to evade his taxes. Because what tax me for what? I did the fucking work. You telling me that I have to involuntarily give you some of my motherfucking money? You can ask nicely. You can say, hey, you know what? We need a few $1 billion for this Pakistani gender study. And we could really use some. No, you gotta force the shit. You gotta take it. You gotta make sure it comes out of my fucking paycheck. And if you say enough didn't come out. Oh well, you didn't have enough money come out of your paycheck, so we got to take more at the end of the year. You got to owe us. It's bullshit. Tax evasion. I call that a motherfucking. Tax evasion is a good thing. You understand what I'm saying? Tax evasion is a movement I can get behind. Okay? If there was a tax evasion movement, matter of fact, I might start one day. Let's start a tax evasion movement. Everybody files fucking exempt on their fucking tax W-2. And during tax season, when they try to come to collect, because you filed an exemption, so now you owe all this money, supposedly, according to them. Don't fucking, everybody just fucking refuses to pay. What they gonna do then? They ain't gonna do shit. We don't even need we don't even need everybody to do it. Maybe just half the country, a third, a fourth, a fifth, whatever. Everybody says, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. We ain't paying shit. I'm gonna file exemption so you don't get no money up front. And then when we get tax return, I ain't gonna fuck it. That's not even due tax returns. That's the movement we should be pushing off of this. Hunter Biden didn't. Hunter Biden didn't do it, and he should have got off for it. That's what we should be doing. File an exemption, don't do your tax return. And it has to be a massive movement. It can't just be a few people. It has to be enough people for them to stretch their resources too far to even do anything about half of it, right? Because that's the whole point. The whole point is they don't have enough motherfuckers to fuck with all the people. Even all the adult people. Was it 100-something million adults in the country? They don't have enough people to fuck with us. No. Why do you think they're trying to hire 80,000 motherfucking IRS agents that had to be okay with killing a motherfucker? Because they know at some point it has to come to that. At some point, people are going to just stop complying. They're going to stop paying their taxes. They're going to stop motherfucking filing their taxes at the end of the year. They at some point, it's just has to happen. At some point, people are going to stand up and say, you know, fuck this shit. Why am I paying you motherfuckers? You got all these illegals coming up and through here. That's another thing too. That's another thing. You know, I believe in freedom of travel and roam the earth as you see fit. But unfortunately, because of government, it don't work like that. We have created a situation where you can't just do that. It's unrealistic. Even in an anarchistic system, you cannot just say, hey, anybody, come on, come on. No, because some of those people are not going to be down with what you're talking about. They're going to want to try to take over certain shit. They're going to want to create little factions to try to control people, and that is just the natural order of things. Unfortunately, we can't be having illegal immigrants all but through here. Now we got the Chinese and the motherfucking cartels teaming up, and they have their own little mafias going on. I mean, you got, I don't know how many. Listen, it's a problem. Okay, it really is. That's not something that's not hyperbolic, right? That's not hyperbole. They talk about how there's so many hundreds of thousands to millions of people coming in through here. They can't all be good people. Hell, most of them can't be good people. A lot of them can't be good people. That's how the human cookie crumbles. So now we got to contend with that, right? People are they're going to look at the people in Chicago and in New York that are protesting, giving money to the illegal immigrants for shelter and food and all this other shit. People are starting to see, why am I giving this government money? They're just going to shovel our money over to Ukraine. They're going to shovel our money over to the immigrants. They're going to shovel our money, and we can't even get fucking reparations to black people. You know what I'm saying? We can't even get potholes filled. We can't even get homeless people off the streets. Homeless Americans. Homeless United Statesians, whatever the fuck you want to call them. We can't even get the motherfuckers shelter. But we're going out of our way to put these people in hotels with PlayStations, 3-course meals, all this type of shit. But we can't feed the homeless. Motherfuckers like celebrities have to, make sandwiches and shit and hand it out, right? Or different organizations, nonprofits. We got to build soup kitchens and all this other shit. Like, no, if you're going to extract wealth from us, I'd rather it go to the United Statesians of need rather than motherfucking goddamn immigrants that coming from every goddamn where. We don't know what disease they could be bringing. We don't know what kind of crime they be bringing. Like, there's this whole thing where certain illegal immigrants, they're going into, they're getting this technology. They're going into people's homes. They're scrambling their motherfucking security systems. And they're busting up in there, taking shit. Like, this shit is happening. You got murderers, rapists, all this other type of shit flooding up and through here. It's just that's just the truth about it. Not all of them, of course. Not all of them, but enough of them, and it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem in the future. Like, particularly in places like California, New York, where they don't have the right to keep bear arms, and they don't. If you can have a gun, but you can't bear it wherever you go, whatever you want, then you don't have the right to keep bear arms. I'm sorry. The Second Amendment went away in California. Even in South Carolina, you got to get a permit. Yes, it's relatively easy to get one, but it's still a violation of our rights. It's just easier. Like, it's a shall issue instead of a may issue. Now, California's supposed to switch to a may issue or shall issue, but now they're trying to make the whole goddamn state a sensitive place. So these are the games they play. And this is why California's having the problems it has. That's why New York has having the problems in Chicago. Those places have enough crime as it is. They have enough issues as it is. They have enough violence as it is. Now you bringing all these motherfuckers in there? Well, they're getting bust there by Governor Abbott in Texas, but you know what I'm saying. They're getting bust there. Some of them are making their way up there, but it's a problem. It's gonna be a problem because these people that are coming over here, they are not assimilated. They're not assimilated. They're going to take advantage of all the things they're going to get. And they're going to get greedy, and they're going to want more, and they're going to come take it from you because they feel like they can. Because that's how cutthroat it is where they come from. Hey, this is what we chose when some of y'all motherfuckers, when they voted, decided to go vote instead of stand up for your rights. Drop a fucking card in a ballot box. Drop a ballot in a ballot box. But hey, this is what we do, man. Because we can't be comfortable with ruling our own lives and having some autonomy. Like we have to be controlled and we have to be dictated to by somebody. Why is that such a thing that we want to do? Why don't we want the ultimate freedom and ultimate control over our own lives? Why are so many of us power hungry and control hungry our damn selves? Why must we feel the need to impose our will on others? What is it about the human being? I don't know. I don't live like that. I don't live like that. Even when I'm at work and I have employees under me, right? I give them guidance. I give them direction. But they're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. And I have to make a choice from that point. Well, you don't want to do you don't want to follow my directions and all that shit. Well, you got to go. But I don't feel the need to control them. You understand what I'm saying? Like if they want to take the day off to go do something, I'm not the type of person, oh, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. No. You know what I tell them? Take off what you can afford. However much time you need to take off, if you can afford it, take it off because you're not going to get paid. You leave early, well, your pay get cut off at that time. You don't come in tomorrow, you can't get paid for tomorrow. But if you can afford it, congratulations. Do what you do. But I'm not the type of person who's going to say, no, you can't go, and no. Now, might it hurt production? Because, oh, well, now we got to find a way to make up for the time that we lost because you left the man hours. Now we got to make it up somewhere. We got to make it up somehow. Well, that's part of problem solving as a leader. You got to problem solve. You might have to get in there and do the work yourself. It is what it is. You know? Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna get off this live stream, y'all. But it's been good. Building shot killings. Dead Mike is in the building. Yeah, so whoever else is in here. Peanut, I believe. So yeah, thank you for guys for coming through. Thank you for